Welcome to another day of reading of the book Surcharged with Divine Love, written by Sukmani Aunty and published by Unistar Books Private Limited. Chapter 39. The Spiritual Bank Balance. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moths and vermin do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Matthew 6:19-21. We all have bank accounts with savings that we can use in times of need. Isn't it true that our confidence is directly proportionate to the amount of our savings? Don't we all feel better knowing we have enough in our banks to pull out in an emergency? Don't we all think of ways to invest and increase our bank balance? Yes, we do. As spiritual beings, we all have spiritual accounts with God. This is the account from where we withdraw blessings in times of crisis in our life. It is such a shame that most of us spend our lives being completely unaware that such an account exists. Well, let me tell you, it does. And just like in the other accounts that we have in banks on earth, we can make withdrawals and deposits too. We spend all our lives working and saving money in accounts when the most important of all accounts is left unattended. All the money will be left behind when we die, and the only thing that will go with us is our spiritual bank balance. Why then are we not worried about increasing it? What if one day we need it the most and we find out we are low on funds? Life is full of challenges, and unknowingly we keep withdrawing from our spiritual account each time we face a problem. Not only the crisis in life, but other things like ego, hurting someone, telling lies, etc., cause big debits from our spiritual accounts. If we continue to live without being mindful of our spiritual balance, I fear one day we may be spiritually bankrupt. Everything we do affects our balance. For example, if someone has a habit of telling lies, each time he lies, there is a withdrawal from the account, and over a period of time, the account will run low and life will start to become difficult. An overdrawn account leads to low energy levels, lack of abundance, and problems in health and life in general. How does one make deposits? The answer is live a life of honesty and love. The little acts of kindness that you do, the love that you give, your anonymous giving all make fat deposits in the account. But if you are giving to get, you're doing it wrong. If you give to God without feeling greedy, you get truly blessed in both realms. The blessings of a guru or even that of your elders can increase your balance tremendously. A guru can transform your negative balance to abundance within seconds with his grace. Praying also adds to your balance, especially if you pray more for others than for yourself. My maternal grandparents followed a small practice called the Svand, which means you take out 10% of your income and keep aside to help the needy or give in charity. This practice is one that will never let your heavenly account run dry. It doesn't mean life will always be smooth, but your finances will seem to stretch and you will never feel the lack of material possessions. This is because the Swant makes a huge deposit in our spiritual accounts. Keep in mind that what you give is right and worth giving because what you give eventually comes back to you. Never do useless daan, charity. This katha will explain what I have to say beautifully. Once there was a king who was looking after his horses along with his servants. A sadhu comes and asks the king for dhan. The king gets annoyed and tells him to ask for dhan when he is sitting on his throne. Out of sheer anger, he picks up a fistful of horse dung and offers it to the sadhu. The sadhu accepts the dhan with all humility and blesses the king. May your dhan grow. The sadhu goes away into the forest and puts the dung outside his hut. Over a period of time, the small handful of dung turns into a huge pile of dung. One day, the king goes hunting into the forest and comes across the hut with a mountain of dung. Out of curiosity, he gets down and asks the sadhu where all the dung has come from. The sadhu replies, Rajan, this is your dhan that has grown. Shocked, the king asks, what will happen now to all this dung? To this, the sadhu replies, now you will eventually have to eat all that you gave me. The king got worried and repented his actions. He asked the sadhu to forgive him. The sadhu agrees to help him and tells the king to get people to talk ill about himself. Ninda. The more people who speak ill of you, faster will the dung disappear. Your dhan will be affected by your ninda and will reduce, but the actual amount will still remain, and that you will have to eat. The king was advised to dry it up into a churn powder and eat a little at a time. So, what you give will eventually find its way back to you. So, make sure what you give out is what you wouldn't mind getting back. Another point to note here is that by criticizing someone, you wash that person and take on his or her negative karma. Guruji often played this shabad in the mandir. Nindo nindo moko log nindo. It means, all you people, please criticize me. My slanderer will be drowned and I will, thanks to him, be carried across the shores. The person who criticizes, fairly or unfairly, does you a favor. He or she is taking on your sins while wiping off yours. Slandering makes a huge debit from your spiritual account. Start making your spiritual investments today and continue to do so a bit every day. Be mindful of every action and thought. Your reactions to certain situations and people can make or break your savings, so always think before you react. If you're ever faced by a situation where you are required to react, stop and think whether your reaction makes a deposit or a debit in your spiritual account. If it's a debit, please don't react. It's not worth it. Lessons learned from vachans of various Sant Mahatmas over the years. These may help build your savings in God's bank. Do part. Prayers done with true love for God is powerful enough to turn a sinner into a saint. Man is born incomplete and dies incomplete. Only prayers can complete us. Part is the only way to burn our negative karmas. Looking after parents is as great a service as doing seva for God. Blessings given by parents, especially a mother, are at par with blessings given by God. Amrit Vela should not be forced. It's only with the grace of God that one is able to get up at that time. Amrit Vela is only from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. and is your private time with God, not for satsangs. If you wish to reap benefits of Amrit Vela, don't tell anyone you're doing it. The moment you speak about it, you lose the blessings. Satsang is very important. It's where our soul gets washed off of all the mud it accumulates every day. It's like a mirror that shows us our faults and makes us work on them. If you connect in a satsang, you will never walk out empty handed. In the company of Guru Sangat, the lowest of low can reach top positions in life. One ghadi of satsang, which is equal to 24 minutes, can give you benefit of many years of bandagi, worship. No matter how important, never leave a satsang in between for any work. Never do ninda, speaking ill of someone. Never listen to ninda of others as well. Never hurt anyone. By doing so, you burn your good karmas. Do not have a big social circle. Do not meet too many people. If someone talks rudely to you, do not react. You will benefit and the other person will burn his good karma. Never indulge in self-praise nor listen to others praise you. Talk sweetly, don't hurt anyone with your words. If you start your day with the Guru's name and if Kirtan is prevalent in your house will remain protected from evil influences. It's only when the sun of your good karma is at its peak will you meet a Mahapurush. The moment you meet a Mahapurush, think that God is very pleased with you. Never leave a Mahapurush no matter what happens. Even if you're pushed out, stay stubborn and always come back. Sooner or later, the Guru is bound to bless you. Stealing what belongs to others is as bad as drinking someone's blood. Never curse anyone, it may come back to you. Try never to hurt anyone so much that they curse you. This can finish your good karmas. There is no better deed than connecting people with God, and nothing is worse than breaking people's connection with God. Ardas must be done with love and humility, not with ego. Never leave or throw away food. Even if badly cooked, don't criticize. Never lose your temper as it attracts negativity. Granth Sahib should never be locked up in a cupboard. If you have Granth Sahib at home, regular seva must be done. Lead a life of truth. Never lie or be sly and cunning. Chapter 40. Guruji takes Mahasamadhi and after. I don't die. He who is merged with the Omnipresent is never gone. Guru Nanak. A true Guru is never affected by birth, death, old age and disease. It is because they have taken a physical form to help guide us. They have to respect the laws of nature, but they never die. They consciously exit their bodies. To those who think Guruji to be near, he is still here with us. 2 months before Guruji took Mahasamadhi, he gave hints to many of his Sangat, including my mother and me. He showed me in telepathy his dead body and that I am crying at his feet. Suddenly I hear Guruji's voice telling me, "तू रो क्यों रही है? मैं तो इत्थे ही हाँ." Why are you crying? I am here only. My mother was shown Guruji's pyre being lit at the exact spot where it was actually lit. In spite of his rituals being performed, she sees him walking around in the Bada Mandir. She was so disturbed by the telepathy that she got up crying. Feeling disturbed, she got up and sat in the lobby when suddenly Guruji calls her up on the phone. "Sukhi, tu theek hai? Are you all right?" he inquired. Although she said yes, she knew something was about to happen. On 27th May, Sunday, 2007, we had Guruji's last darshan. He was glowing and never could anyone imagine that he would leave us soon. Guruji's last satsang. Guruji called my mother to stand and do satsang. 10 ਦਿੱਲੀ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਹਾਪੁਰਸ਼ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਨ? ਅੱਜ ਤੱਕ ਕੋਈ ਮਹਾਪੁਰਸ਼ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਇਆ ਹੈ। ਦਿੱਲੀ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਰਾਪ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈ। ਮੈਂ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਹਾਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਆਇਆ ਹਾਂ। ਦਿੱਲੀ ਵਾਲੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕੇ। ਸਭ ਵਿਕਾਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਏ ਹੋਏ ਹਨ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਾ ਮਾਇਆ ਮਿਲੀ ਨਾ ਰਾਮ। ਇੰਨਾ ਬੁਰਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲਾ ਹੈ। ਕੋਈ ਕੰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਏਗਾ, ਸਿਰਫ ਗੁਰੂ ਹੀ ਕੰਮ ਆਏਗਾ। ਭਰੇ ਬਾਜ਼ਾਰ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਭੱਜੂੰਗੇ। ਭੱਜਣੇ ਦੀ ਥਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣੀ। ਦੱਸ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਤੇਰੇ ਫਾਦਰ ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਨਜ਼ਾਰੇ ਦਿਖਾਏ ਹਨ। ਮੈਂ ਇਸ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਰੱਬ ਦਿਖਾਤਾ। Tell the people of Delhi what a Mahapurush is. Till today, no Mahapurush has entered Delhi. Delhi has been cursed. I am the first Mahapurush to have come to Delhi. People of Delhi have not understood me. They are all stuck in materialism. They have neither attained money nor God. We are heading for such bad times that you will not find a place to run. At such a time only a true Guru can help you. Tell the Delhi people what all I have made your father see. I have shown this family what God is. And so my mother described all that my grandfather saw during his days in hospital. ਕੋਈ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਵਾਲ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ, ਉਸ ਬੰਦੇ ਦਾ ਭਲਾ ਕਿਉਂ ਕੀਤਾ? ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਬੁਰਾ ਹੈ। ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਭਲਾ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ। ਜੋ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਆਏਗਾ ਉਸ ਦਾ ਭਲਾ ਹੀ ਹੋਵੇਗਾ। ਇਹੀ ਤਾਂ ਫਰਕ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੇ ਮਹਾਪੁਰਸ਼ਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ। ਦੱਸ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿ ਕੋਈ ਫੋਟੋ ਅਸਲੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਦੀ। ਅਸੀਂ 10 ਸਾਲ ਦੇ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ, ਪਰ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਮਝਿਆ। ਇੱਥੇ ਤਾਂ ਪੈਸਾ ਹੀ ਬੋਲਦਾ ਹੈ। ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਜਗਤ ਤਮਾਸ਼ਾ ਦੇਖਣ ਆਏ ਹਾਂ। ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਹੁਣ ਦੁਖੀ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਹਾਂ। ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਹੁਣ ਚਲੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੈ। ਪੰਜਾਬ। Someone asked me, Guruji, why have you blessed that particular person? He is a bad person. I have to bless everyone who comes to me. Whoever comes to me will be blessed. This is the difference between you and a Mahapurush. Tell these people that no photograph resembles the true gods. I have given 10 years to Delhi, but no one has understood me. Here only money speaks. I have become tired and unhappy. I too will now go away. After a big pause, he said, to Punjab. We had been blessed with the darshans of all the 10 Sikh gurus and were thus able to say that no photograph matches the real faces. That night, Guruji gave us permission to go back to Chandigarh the next day. All through our drive up to Gurgaon, where we were staying for the night, we felt his fragrance with us. That night, Guruji came to me in telepathy and said, "Is hafte fir aana hai Delhi. This week you will have to come to Delhi again." Guruji, मैं कैसे आऊँ? मेरे पास कार नहीं है इस हफ्ते, I said. Meaning, how should I come? I won't have the car with me this week. Guruji smiled and said, "Tenu aana hi payega. You will have to come." Little did I know that Guruji would leave us all on the 31st of May and that I'll have to come back as foretold by him. On the intervening night of 30th and 31st, I again saw Guruji in telepathy, where he tells me not to worry about anything and that he had taken care of everything. My telepathy was broken by the sound of a phone call, whereby we were informed that Guruji had taken Mahasamadhi. The news of Guruji's Mahasamadhi left us all shattered. Although many times since he has come to us in telepathy, telling us he is still with us and even more powerful than before, since he is no longer bound by the laws of nature. Being human beings, we miss his physical presence, but he is still with us every step of our journey. He continues to protect, help and cure his Sangat like before. He still gives his guidance and darshans to his disciples in amazing ways. People who have never met Guruji in his physical form are not only getting cured of ailments but are being guided and given his divine darshans. There have been many incidences where Guruji has come to my rescue even after his Mahasamadhi. I was on my way from Hyderabad to Chandigarh. Since all my travel plans are arranged by the company I work for, I realized that I hardly had an hour to catch my connecting flight from Delhi to Chandigarh. What was worse, I had to change terminals. As I was about to check in at the Hyderabad airport, I prayed to Guruji to help me. The line at the check in counter seemed larger that day, and I was sure I would miss my connecting flight. Out of the blue, the girl at the platinum card check in counter signaled me to come to her counter. Without seeing my e ticket, she told me, "Ma'am, you hardly have enough time to catch your connecting flight. Let me put you a priority sticker on your baggage so that it's the first to come out and you can save some time." And she checked me in. How did she know? Why did she just call me and no one else? Is it normal to book in an ordinary passenger through the platinum card counter? I think not. What I do think is Guruji had heard my plea. As I was expecting, the flight from Hyderabad was late by almost half an hour, and that meant I had just half an hour to claim my baggage, change my terminal, and catch the connecting flight. As we reached the arrivals, the belt number for our luggage was not displayed. Thus, precious minutes were lost trying to frantically look for familiar faces. An old porter came up to me and said, "Your luggage will arrive on belt number 2." How did he know which flight? As I reached belt number 2, thanks to the priority sticker, my luggage was the first to arrive. I rushed to the next terminal and was just in time to board the bus before the boarding gates closed. In another incident, I had to suddenly make some unavoidable purchases worth 15,000 regarding my work. Spending this amount had upset my budget and delayed certain other plans. At night, before sleeping, I prayed to Guruji. "Guruji, I wish I could tell you how badly I need the money that I have just spent today. I wish you could help me with some money." After having said that, I went off to sleep. My mother and I have certain investments made in two different post offices, and every 2 months, without fail, I go and withdraw the interest. The next morning, I filled up the two withdrawal forms and went to collect the cash. At the first post office, I was told to fill in the form again since the amount I had mentioned was much less than what was due. I argued with the cashier that he was mistaken and that I have been withdrawing cash regularly every 2 months without fail. There was no way I could get more cash than what I usually get. I showed him the passbook and the regular entries made in it. He took a look at all my records and still asked me to fill a new form with a bigger amount. I did so, and in my mind, I thanked Guruji for the extra cash. As I was leaving for the next post office, a truck came and overtook my car from the wrong side. As I looked, I noticed the following words written on it: "जिसके सर ऊपर तू स्वामी सो दुख कैसा पावे," meaning, a person who has the hand of God, Guru, over him can never be unhappy. At the next post office, I was again asked to fill in the form all over again, as the amount I had filled was much less than what was showing on the computer. I told them that there must be a mistake since I regularly withdraw the cash and there is no way I could have missed a month or two in between. All reasoning and explanations failed, and I had to fill in the new amount. When I came home, I counted the money and was surprised to see that I had rupees 15,000 extra. I realized that my prayers had been answered and the money I had spent was returned to me by Guruji. I now had in my possession 15,000 rupees that were completely unaccounted for. There have been numerous other incidences where we had to just call out to him and he was there for us. Guruji continues to be a pillar of strength for me and my family, and thanks to him, I have learned to live life fearlessly. As Guruji had told us, "मैं अगला जन्म भी महापुरुष ता ही लवांगा." My next birth too will be that of a spiritual master. I'm holding on to His words and waiting for Him to appear again. Whether it is in this lifetime of mine or next, I know this journey will be resumed again. जय गुरु जी। आज की रीडिंग बस यहीं तक। कल फिर अगले चैप्टर से शुरू करेंगे। उम्मीद करती हूँ आप सबको बहुत अच्छा लगा। सुखमनी आंटी का भी फिर से शुक्राना अपनी इतने ब्यूटीफुल एक्सपीरियंसेस को हमारे साथ शेयर करने के लिए। जय गुरु जी।